Perfect. Ready?
3, 2, 1, and
It's a very personal question if you're okay with it. How do you fund the projects?
Unfortunately, I can't.
That's your chunk of your profit, right?
It's called Malai. Government collects GST on unsold inventory from us.
It's a pain. I mean, where is the money going?
This is a question we'll have to ask them.
A road that was dug up 3 months back and they've started digging up again. Like, it's crazy.
In terms of sizes, what I'm making 750 square feet 2 bed to 6,000 square feet house.
So, how important are amenities?
People love it. All my buildings are as per Vastu. They always want 369.
This affect your sale?
When we sell a house, we're not just selling a house. We're actually making someone's dream come true. It's a very old school advice which says Vyapari bechta bhala. Always keep these three people close to you and a phone call away. Number 1 is your lawyer. Number 2 is your CA. Number 3 is a mentor. I'll just add in number 4. That is your BMC architect.
Welcome to Key Conversations with Sajid Vakil. Today, we are in conversation with Vinayak Nagpal, the second generation entrepreneur leading El Nagpal developers. Formed in 2001, the company has gained immense respect for timely delivery and honest practices. Vinayak, who stepped into the business with a deep passion for development, is now taking the legacy forward with a modern approach to real estate. Please welcome the dashing and young entrepreneur, Mr. Vinayak Nagpal. So Vinayak, what made you join the family business and how is your vision different from your father's?
I knew that I wanted to join this industry since a very long time. And ever since I was a kid, I used to see my father going to the sites. I used to go with him sometimes. I used to see him talking numbers in office. And it later on reached a point in life wherein I did my master's in construction management itself. This we are talking about the year 2014. And ever since then, I haven't looked back. My father is my guru. Whatever I've learned from him, whatever I've learned in life is all from him.
Yeah.
And his ways of dealing with people, everything is all from him. So the only thing that differs in our vision is the modernism that I bring into the buildings. And in terms of when it comes down to the construction aspect, the finishing quality is something that I don't compromise on, not as he, but it's just that I add that little extra zing to it.
So tell us about your ongoing projects currently. How many projects are going on?
So
And how many are on the verge of starting?
We have 4 ongoing projects, and soon I'll be launching 2 more. Can't reveal more information on that, but 2 more coming up.
So tell us about so I know you mainly do construction in Khar, Bandra, Santa Cruz. Tell us about the market in the next 5 years. What is your take on the market? And with the amount of projects that are currently going on and coming, where do you see the market going?
Every real estate cycle, it's a cycle of 8 years.
Okay.
In which 5 years is boom, and then you see 3 years of a slack period.
Okay.
When COVID hit in the year 2020, immediately after that, the government gave a very good discount in the year 2021.
For the stamp duty.
Not just stamp duty. In fact, the premiums that developers pay, government slashed it by 50%.
Correct.
At that point, in H West Ward particularly, that is Khar, Bandra, Santa Cruz, more than 150 buildings went in for redevelopment and started. At that time, everyone I used to speak to used to say, so many buildings have started, market is going to crash, rates are going to come down. What are these rates you're quoting? Sajid, you're in the business. Have you seen the rates coming down ever since?
Not at all.
Rates have just been going
honestly, my personal opinion is I don't see it coming down for the next at least 3-4 years.
If you ask me, until 2028, we are sitting on a very golden period.
Right.
Rates are not coming down. If anything, at that point, they will plateau.
Yeah.
But they will not come down.
Correct. So how do you plan and forecast a new project from scratch?
Any project will firstly come up with a feasibility report for it. After that feasibility report, that is just on document what it shows. Practically after going to the site location, you will see, okay, neighboring buildings, what's your view? Are you going to get, is your westerly open? You have to see Vastu. And then after that, you plan and forecast that, okay, my rate over here, I can open it at 80,000 a square foot, 1 lakh a square foot, 60,000 a square foot, depends on the location.
So the PMC also does a lot of feasibility for the society before the developer.
Of course they do. PMCs are very important for societies.
For societies.
Yeah, they make the work a lot easier, I would say.
In Kharbandra, Santa Cruz, how much money do you need to say start 1,000 square meter redevelopment project? How much
Just
money
to-
do you need upfront just to get to say the plinth level?
Just to start and
Just to
get
start
to
the project,
plinth
yeah.
level, well, I would say, first you have to incur BMC premium charges. You have to pay all the professionals involved. You have to pay society members. You have to load TDR, FSI, PTC, PAP. The minimum requirement to reach till plinth, that is after you dig your basement, get there, anywhere, anywhere north of 35 to 40 crores will go in.
Just to get to the plinth.
Just to get to the plinth level and with paying all these premiums and getting everything done basically.
So you have so many projects going on. It's a very personal question if you're okay with it. How do you fund the projects?
So as of now, I am self-funded.
Okay.
We haven't borrowed any loans from any NBFCs or banks or institutional investments, none of that. And we are investor friendly.
Okay.
So that has actually worked for us very well.
Yeah, so I've seen that with a lot of developers in this locality that usually they don't go to the bank. They have a lot of investors backing them. And, when investors are happy and making money, it's very easy for the developer also, to do the project.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you sell at pre-launch to investors?
I sell at pre-launch. Yes,
Okay.
I do. I also, but majority of my stock is sold once the structure is standing.
Okay. So
That's when the main
basically
sale
you sell
comes
say
in.
50% till your building is ready and balance 50% after OC.
You can say it's a 1/3 ratio. 1/3 is before the structure
Okay.
is ready,
Okay.
and normally 40-50% more goes when the structure is complete, finishing work is
Right,
going on,
right.
and the balance then is sold post OC.
Because that's your chunk of your profit, right?
It's called Malai.
It's called Malay. Tell us about the BMC. I remember you mentioned to me that BMC is like a partner in most of your projects. How easy or how difficult it is to deal with BMC?
I'll just correct you over there. BMC is not like a partner. BMC is your partner.
Okay.
Before you start with any building in Kharbandra, Santa Cruz, I'm talking about that particular micro market. Like I mentioned earlier, whatever costs have to go to BMC, all have to be paid upfront,
Upfront, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So in turn, in this vicinity, approximately 40 to 45% of your project cost goes towards BMC.
It's very interesting because when you're selling a product, your buyer will pay you slab-wise. But you have to pay the BMC 100% upfront.
Yes, you have to, unless you go for the deferred payment scheme, but otherwise you have to pay upfront.
How easy or difficult is it dealing with them and getting your permissions?
Well, they say ease of doing business has
Yeah.
come into force.
Yeah.
Wherein to take the file ahead is just one click away.
Correct.
But we all know what the meaning of one click away actually means.
What does it mean? Tell us.
Unfortunately, I can't. I can't reveal that.
So, with the BMC, I see every 3 to 4 years, there are a lot of rules that keep changing. Just an example was how, CRZ has opened up in the
Right.
last 5 years. How does that affect the business?
There's a very big impact of BMC rules changing. In fact, even in offer letters that we give across to multiple societies, we say that this offer is subject to BMC changing any rules.
Really?
I'll give you an example of what happened. In the year 2017,
Okay.
we had signed on a project, and we uploaded our plans in BMC and tried to get the approval done. It was a smaller plot, about 600 square meters. So we had left 3 meters open space on either side. Suddenly, the 6-meter space requirement,
came in,
6-meter rule
yeah,
came into
yeah.
force for the fire engine to enter.
Yeah.
Now, what happened? Because of that, my entire planning had to change. I had to not just change my plan, I had to go back to the society members, explain to them,
Negotiate with them.
renegotiate with them after my development agreement was signed and registered.
Wow.
So that took me a long amount, it took me a large amount of time.
So
to
you
do that.
mostly do redevelopments. Run us through the process of a society redevelopment process.
So they say that real estate partners, channel partners, are the backbone of the industry.
Right.
Society members are the veins, and buyers are the blood that flow through.
Right.
Dealing with societies has been something that I've mastered from my father. You have to keep a very cool and calm and composed temperament
Right.
in dealing. You cannot show your arrogance, your ego, anything. You shouldn't be having that also
Yeah.
in the first place. And there have been societies that have been a breeze to deal with. There was recently a building which I did, 11 members, women dominated society.
Okay.
9 out of 11 were women.
How difficult was it?
It was a breeze, it was so smooth dealing
Yeah?
with them. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And there have been societies where some negotiations get over within the first meeting. There have
Right.
been some wherein negotiations go on for 6 months, 12 months, and then BMC changes the law, and then suddenly your offer has to change.
Right.
For example, recently the RR rate increased.
Yeah, now from 1st April.
Our premiums that we pay, FSI that we load is all linked to the RR.
RR, yeah.
So accordingly,
Please explain to our viewers what is RR.
RR is a ready reckoner rate that is prescribed by the government, and that hadn't changed since the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And this year they decided to change it by minimum 5%.
Yeah.
So
It
a
has
lot
increased
of
by
our
5%.
projects have gotten more expensive. Hopefully sales will also increase accordingly.
So how has GST affected?
Sorry, going back earlier.
Yeah.
There was another building wherein in our first meeting, Sajid, this is something very interesting. The secretary was a 91-year-old man
Wow.
who came into play, who came into our office, and it was a 1.5 hour long meeting wherein we discussed everything, we gave them offers and negotiated, and at the end of it he says, okay, I just have 2 questions to ask you. First was, in how many years will you make the building? I said within 2 years I'll complete it, which I kept up to my word. And second was, are you going to make a good building with a good elevation? I said absolutely, done. He finishes the meeting and says, is it over? Can I go now? I have to drive to Pune.
What?
Yeah, he's driven. So he came back to his new flat, 93 years old, still rocking in life.
Wow.
Yeah,
Inspiration, huh?
absolutely.
So let's get to the GST part. How has GST on residential and also maybe commercial projects affected your sales? Has it affected the sales in any way?
It has, by a great margin.
Because you lose out on your investors, right?
Not just investors, many buyers also, we lose out on them.
Right.
So GST currently for residential is at 5%,
5%, yeah.
without any input
Yeah.
benefit from the government.
Yeah.
So what that means that any GST that I pay on my raw materials goes away as an expense in my books.
Right.
And whatever GST is to be collected from the buyers is to be paid directly to the government.
Right.
So in that turn, what happens that when buyers are coming across to buy houses, they love the flat, they love the planning, they love everything.
Everything.
They're saying we are agreeable to pay you your price. They don't want to pay the 5% GST.
Because 5% is a huge amount on luxury sales here, right? I mean, a minimum apartment in this locality is, say, a 3-bedroom will cost you around 6 to 8 crores.
Let's take an average of 8 crores.
8 crores, yeah.
Right? This is the
Yeah.
trend going on. On that 8 crores, buyer has to pay 6% stamp duty first.
Correct.
Then he has to pay 5%
Correct.
GST.
So 5% GST is 40 lakh rupees, which you don't get a rebate for.
Right. So what the buyer feels that, I rather opt for a ready project
Ready
with
project,
OC,
yeah.
wherein I don't have to pay any GST
Any
on
GST.
it.
But then, see, I mean, your rate changes, right? Once the OC
Rate
comes.
changes, not just that. Government collects GST on unsold inventory from us also.
Yes. Once,
Yeah.
once the building's ready. Yeah.
Once the building is ready, on any unsold stock,
Yeah.
you pay 5% GST
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, but then again, once the OC comes, your I think rate changes it by at least 10
Absolutely.
to 15%.
Minimum.
Yeah,
Minimum
yeah. So you get that
benefit.
benefit there.
And the buyer also gets the benefit, no?
Correct.
Because he immediately pays upfront.
Upfront.
He gets his apartment. He starts with his interior work,
Yeah.
and he starts his life.
But I feel 6% stamp duty personally. Uh, I mean, government can collect it. Uh, it is a big hit, but when you pay that 6%, say for a 8-10 crore apartment, it's around 50 to 60 lakhs,
Right.
and then you go to the registration office. to
6,000
register the
square feet
document,
house.
and you see
Right.
the state of the registration office. Man, it's a pain. Firstly, there are no clean bathrooms.
Absolutely.
The place is not clean. It stinks.
You're right.
I mean, it's a shame, like when I sell 10-15 crore property, 10-15 crore rupee properties, and and I take the buyer to the registration office where there's no place to stand most of the times. The place is dirty. I mean, where is the money going?
This is a question we'll have to ask them. Money is going in different places. For example, there was an article I read, Times of India, somewhere around December 24 or January 25, that said that the fungible premium paid by the builders has actually funded a lot of the coastal road project. So a majority of that premium, I think it was about 1500 or 2000 crores that was collected over a span of say 3 to 4 years, that has actually funded and paid for the entire coastal road project. I'll actually try to find that article and share it with you.
And also, most of the times you go and the server is down.
Yeah.
You have to wait at the
The most
registration office for
frustrating
like 2 to
thing
3
ever.
hours. Like, it's crazy, bro. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like with new technology, with AI, why do we not make things better?
I've had buyers come down from UAE and America,
Yeah,
and they come here and they say that, look, I'm here only for 2 to 3 days.
yeah,
Register my document.
yeah.
And I've had one instance before wherein the guy has come in. He's come in on a Friday, and he said, okay, register it. He came in the morning, server was down.
Yeah.
Afternoon, server was down. Saturday, office was shut. Sunday, office is
Wow.
shut. He said, I have to fly back. So poor guy, he had to
Yeah.
just pay extra for his flight tickets.
Oh God, it's a sad state of affairs, but I think this needs to improve.
Definitely
in our
needs to.
city. This really needs to improve.
I am in terms with you on that.
Yeah. So Vinayak, there are around 150 projects going on from Bandra to Santa Cruz,
Right.
and I think there are another 100 starting in the next a year, I feel.
Absolutely.
So what do you think about the infrastructure in our area? I think we all will have to start roaming on electric scooters at some point now.
Bicycles also.
Yeah, yeah.
BMC is actually doing a good job when it comes down to building the roads. They are finally getting concretized,
Okay.
and it is going to take them some amount of time. But the real question is that can the infrastructure support the number of buildings that are going on?
Exactly.
And that is the biggest question mark. That even I think, in my opinion, even the BMC is confused about this, whether it's going to happen or no.
Yeah.
It's like this, you have a plot, you're doing a building, it's a G plus 2,000 square meter plot. As of now, there are only 4 to 5 cars that are parked over there, maybe 10 cars at best. Suddenly, when the building goes in for redevelopment, you have to create car parking for at least 60 cars.
Yeah, because the number of cars are also increasing, right?
Number of cars are increasing, but infrastructure is yet remaining the same. When it comes down to the internal roads, government is what they've done with the coastal road, what they are doing with the
See, that is amazing. The connectivity is getting great going to South Bombay. I think the Warsaw connectivity is going to start, I
Right.
think, in the next couple of years. But what about the internal connectivity?
internal connectivity is a big task. Getting from car to Bandra has sometimes taken me half an hour.
Yeah, that day took me an hour from Santa Cruz to Bandra.
Yeah,
An hour,
it is.
which is not even like 2 kilometers.
There is a major disruption when it comes down to traveling within the internal lanes,
Yeah.
and it is something that I'm sure it will be worked upon.
No, but sometimes I don't understand what is happening. A road that was dug up 3 months back, and they've started digging up again. The 16th Road Bandra, I don't know what is happening. Like, it's got to a point where influencers have started making reels
No, I've
on
been seeing
our
many of
roads.
those.
It is, embarrassing because we live in this locality,
Right.
you can't go for a walk, to go to one location, you have to take 3 U-turns. अरे
Right.
ये रास्ता बंद है आज, अरे आज ये रास्ता बंद है. It's funny what is happening.
There was a day wherein for me to just get out of my lane took me 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know
I
where the
think-
roads are going internally. Yes, the highways are getting better, the connectivity to other locations are getting better, but we need to sort out our internal connectivity.
The government has given a time limit. I think by end of June, or rather before the monsoon start, at least 70 to 80% of this work will be complete.
And Bandra lanes are anyways narrow.
Very narrow.
So we we need better roads.
We need better roads, which is why they are concretizing the roads now.
Right.
So if you go to see earlier, the roads, they would make it and there were immediately potholes in them.
Correct.
Within a month to
Within a
2 months.
month, yeah.
Because those roads were not made of complete concrete.
Before every monsoons, those same lanes get dug up again.
And the potholes would come up in the same locations.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, now what they've done something different, which is kudos to them. The entire road has been filled up with concrete.
Okay.
And they've instructed all licensing architects also that these roads cannot be, you can't dig the road any further to take out your electrical line, plumbing line, any of that.
But hopefully they should stay new for the next 5 years.
Hopefully, this
With
is
our monsoons.
This is our hope and wish,
Yeah.
and we can only live on that until next monsoon.
So for our viewers, how old are you?
I am currently 32 years old.
You're 32. And when did you start your first project on your own?
I joined my father's business when I was 22 years old,
Okay.
and I shadowed him for the first 3 years.
Okay.
By shadowing him means just looking at the way he talks, the way he speaks, understanding his body language when a client is sitting across, when members are sitting across, how he dealt with BMC people, how he dealt with everyone basically. And he entrusted me and handed over my first project to me when I was 25 years old.
So which has been your most challenging project?
I think every project is challenging, Sajid.
Okay.
Every project has its own different set of challenges.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. There's a building that we've just started about a month ago. Tore down the earlier building that was there. Started with excavation. Now we had our tree NOCs in place, wherein we had to shift 3 trees.
Okay.
However, when excavation started, one of the trees had to be relocated,
Okay.
which wasn't earlier approved. And we had to halt our entire excavation for 11 days.
Wow.
So 11 days of work loss happened, and
To move a tree.
to move one particular tree and make sure that the tree is surviving, and we did that.
Yeah. So these challenges keep coming in like every project, right?
Right. Every project has unforeseen.
Some projects have issues with members, some have with construction, some have with the delays of the road.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, so currently you said you have 4 projects going on.
Right.
Name all of them.
So first one is Hillview on
Okay.
16th Road.
Okay.
Well, it's in 16th Road Khar, but pin code is 50,
Okay. The one opposite Boji.
opposite Bougie Cafe.
Okay.
The second one is Summer Queen
Okay.
on 15th Road, Bandra.
Okay.
The third one is Poonam,
Okay.
which is right behind Vero Moda.
Correct.
And
The new one.
The new one, yes, that's right. And the fourth one is Bhagirathi
Okay.
on 17th Road, Khar.
Okay. So, what are your usual sizes that you're making today? In Khar Bandra, you're making more 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. You're making Jodi apartments. What is the demand for today?
So in all my projects, I normally plan. My usual go-to to my architect is that you make a plan wherein you can merge both the apartments.
Merge both the apartments.
So that whether it's living room to living room mergers preferred,
Preferred, yeah.
but even if it's bedroom to living room, a merger should be possible.
Correct.
That's one thing that I always give a brief.
Correct.
In terms of sizes, what I'm making, well, it ranges from a 750 square feet 2-bed to the largest that I've gone till now is a 6,000 square feet house.
That's a penthouse.
Yeah, that's the penthouse.
So what is the demand for today? Is it more of luxury, that is say 2,000 square foot plus, or is it more say three beds ranging from 1,000 to 1,200 square foot?
There is a mix of both. I would say there's an equal demand for both. What happens, I'll first come down to the 1,000 to 1,200 square foot category. What the trend normally is, people are selling their inherited property or their old flat where they stay, which is let's say 750, 800 square feet, and they want to upgrade their lifestyle.
Correct.
They're living in a G plus 3, now they want a G plus 15.
Correct.
So
With
they
amenities.
correct. So they sell that,
Correct.
and they have to just put in the differential amount
Correct.
to upgrade their lifestyle. So that's when people are preferring that ticket size.
Right.
When it comes down to a 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 square foot house, that's when people who have, they just want to upgrade their lifestyle to the maximum. So they opt for those houses. I've had a client who has taken a 3,500 square foot house, and he's converting it to a 2 bedroom.
What?
Yeah, just 2 bedrooms.
Wow. So how important are amenities in today's day and age and the projects?
Extremely important. Let's go back to your earlier conversation about infra.
What are you able to provide in a say 1,000, 1,200 square meter plot? What amenities are you able to provide?
So what I am providing in a 1,000 to 1,200 square meter plot is an e-deck. What an e-deck means, it's a podium level
Okay.
full of amenities.
Okay.
So you get a pickleball court, you get
Okay.
children's play area, you have a banquet hall, society office,
Okay.
a large gymnasium,
Okay.
indoor games room, steam facilities, golf VR. That is what we are providing right now. And
But-
then it comes down to the rooftop.
Hmm.
There's a swimming pool, barbecue area, gazebo. All of these things are being provided, and people want that.
So does that help with the sale price?
Absolutely, it does. Swimming pool, strange. This is a very strange thing. People normally use the swimming pool only on the weekends.
Right.
And it's not a pool in which you can take a proper lap. It's a dip pool.
It's a dip pool. Yeah.
4 feet height is what
Yeah.
you're allowed. People love it. They call their friends over on the weekends, and they're sitting there. They're sitting by the pool, in the pool, and they enjoy it. And then that's when they realize that okay, I don't have to get out of my house.
Yeah.
I don't have to get out of my building,
Yeah.
to travel for any other amenity. I want to go for a workout. I go 5 floors below. I want to go and sit in the pool. I have to go up to the rooftop. I want to play table tennis. I go down. I want to play billiards. I'll go down.
But tell me about parking. Most of the new projects have car lifts
Correct.
or those automated car parks.
Right.
How difficult is it doing sales in these kind of projects where people nowadays still prefer the old way of parking, of ramps and still car parks?
Right.
Does this affect your sale?
It does. People don't prefer mechanical car parkings. Honestly, even we don't.
Right.
But given the shape and sizes of the plots, you have to provide that.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, 1,000 square meter plot, you would probably be having 9-10 car parkings. When it was G plus 3. Now you're making G plus 15, 16, 17, whatever. You have to now come up with 60 to 70 car parks.
Right.
Your only option is to go down
Right.
or to go up.
Right.
And the only way to provide that is through mechanical car parking. Now, many a times, buyers who are buying these 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 square
They
foot
don't
houses,
prefer mechanical car parks.
they are coming in with their Range Rovers.
Yeah.
These mechanical car parks, it's very difficult for them to take the weight.
But in some buildings, you need to provide those 2-3 still parkings on the ground floor for your
Yes.
penthouses, right?
Absolutely. And those always come in.
Those come in.
Yeah.
So, how important is Vastu in today's day and age? Like, do you design all your projects as per Vastu?
With Vastu, it's very important that you plan your buildings in a way, and people prefer that. They in fact get their own Vastu consultants,
Yeah.
and 70 to 80% of the consultants will give you the same, information. It's just the difference will be that okay, I want this bedroom to be shifted here, this bathroom to be moved around there.
Yeah, but I have seen a lot of Vastu guys have different opinions also,
Yes.
and nowadays most important, I've seen numerology come into place. Okay,
Absolutely.
I don't want this apartment number, or I don't want this floor, or the apartment shouldn't total to this.
Yeah.
You know,
People don't like number 2. People don't like number 5,
Eight.
8. They
Yeah.
always want 369.
But then you know what? For some people it works. They say,
Absolutely.
okay, this number works for us, and this number doesn't, and it's different for everyone. You know.
So all my buildings are as per Vastu compliant rather. Even my upcoming buildings are all Vastu compliant. When you ask me personally, Sajid, I've been sleeping with my head in the north since I was a kid,
Right.
and apparently that's horrible as per Vastu.
Right.
And I've recently started believing in it.
Hmm.
Recently just started when for a few days I started sleeping with my head facing in the south,
Okay.
and I was in deep sleep. Like it's just the magnetic fields, magnetic forces that I've been experiencing. So
You know, also it's the belief.
belief,
There are some people I see who don't believe in Vastu also.
they don't.
And they don't get into it only.
You know what?
And
What happens?
Life is good for them because I think it's all about your belief. If you believe in something, well and good. And if you don't believe in something, it's fine as long as it doesn't play on your mind. You know?
People who believe heavily in Vastu and numerology base their entire life events on it.
Yeah.
That let's say if a good thing happens, they'll say, "Oh, that's because I shifted the position of my chair from here to there." I've had clients who have told me that, okay, I'm willing to buy the 12th floor of your building, provided you change the number of the flat. So it was 1201.
You make it 1200.
You have to make it 1200. So 1200.
Wow.
We
So
changed it in the
I
OC plan.
have this very dear friend of mine who's also a developer, and he just bought an office.
Right.
And his registration date also was decided by his Vastu guy.
Vastu guy. Correct.
You will register this apartment or this office on this date. There are two agreements. This agreement you'll do on your wife's name. This agreement you'll do on your name. This
Yes.
agreement will be registered in November, and
Yes.
this will be done in December.
Yeah. I've had such kind of buyers also.
Wow. So, what advice would you give to the young generation today who are looking to get into development?
I have two advices to give. One advice, I recently saw it in a reel by CA Sarthak Ahuja.
Yeah.
He said, always keep these three people close to you and a phone call away.
Right.
Number one is your lawyer.
Yeah.
Number two is your CA.
Yeah.
And number three is a mentor.
Yeah.
So I'll just add in number 4. That is your BMC architect.
Yeah. True.
And my second advice to people entering this industry would be, it's a very old school advice, which says, Vyapari bechta bhala.
Ha.
Which means that never get attached to what you're producing, what you're constructing, what you're making. If you get a buyer, and if you think the price is right, sell it.
Yeah. Never hold on to
Never
your,
hold on to your stock,
Yeah.
is what my father has taught me, and I'm going to.
See, because it is for developers, you need to keep churning, right?
Absolutely.
Because you sell one, you take another project.
Right.
That's your business, day-to-day business.
Right.
So you need funds in hand to do that.
Right. So when we sell a house, we're not just selling a house. We're actually making someone's dream come true.
Correct.
Because a person saves all his life, in the hope that, okay, I want to give this house to my child, or I want to retire in this kind of a house. So they've been dreaming about it not for 1 year, 2 years, they've been dreaming about it for more than 8 to 10 years.
Right.
And that is what you have the ability and the power and the product to give to them.
Right.
So you should be happy when you give a house away also.
Correct. Of course.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you've done your construction course. Can you just
Right.
give us an update
I did
from
my-
where you've done it?
I did my master's in construction management from
Okay.
University of Reading.
University of
Reading,
Reddit.
north of London.
Okay.
Now,
And how long was the course?
it was a 1 year program.
Okay.
If you ask me, how was it? It was great. It was a great experience.
Okay.
I got a lot of knowledge from there. But practically speaking, India is India, Bombay is Bombay,
Yeah, it's very different.
Bandra is
construction.
Bandra.
Yeah.
Right? So, what you learn practically, that no book, no educational institute can teach you.
Yeah, I think it's all about you learn every day here. You learn meeting different people. Every new meeting, you learn something new.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I have learned this from scratch without any background of real
Right.
estate, And it took me time. It took
And
me,
you're doing phenomenally well.
yeah, it took me like first 5 years was like, there were times I used to say like, okay, I'm giving up.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, because my brothers always backed me. Because see, for me, my family business is something else, you know.
Right.
Both my older brothers, my dad, my mom, they are all in the family business. And I wanted to diversify when I finished my MBA.
Right.
And my brothers backed me. And they always told me one thing: give it 5 years, give it 6 years.
Right.
If nothing, you have always something to fall back to,
Right.
you know. And touch wood, it's just gone uphill from there.
That's what we are. That's the advice we are giving my
Yeah.
younger brother.
Yeah.
He's a CFA, MBA. He just came back from Canada, and he's starting his own fintech app. And that's the same thing we told him. Look, if it works, great. If it doesn't, you have this business to back on.
Right, right.
So coming back to my education, going to the UK and learning construction management was a life-changing experience for me because of the life skills that I developed over
Right,
there by
right.
being alone.
Right.
If you ask me, did I learn anything, any practical knowledge over
Yeah.
there, any hands-on, nothing. You know, it's only when you're at site
Right.
do you actually
That's how you
learn
learn,
what's
yeah,
happening.
yeah.
And I am every day of the week from 10:30, 11 in the morning till about 1 p.m. I am at all different sites of mine.
Right.
And that is when you learn, you know, what you're making, how your product is going to turn out. You have to have the vision for it. There's actually a very good institute called REMI,
Right.
Real Estate Management Institute. They are based in Bombay, and they give you first-hand experience, first-hand knowledge of
Okay.
you know, how it is to be in the business and profession over here. They get people to come and talk who are from the industry,
Right.
and it's a great program.
So it's in Mumbai, yeah?
It's in Mumbai, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
I
great for the
think-
young viewers to.
Yeah, it's
you know,
great. Whichever young viewers over here want to go and learn more about this, I think
Yeah.
Remy is the place to go to.
It's a 1 year course?
They have multiple courses. They have
Okay.
short courses, long courses, you know,
Oh.
whatever you choose on. They have, I think, a 2-month, 3-month program also.
Okay.
And they have even MBAs, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I met a lot of architects, developers.
Who've done their courses from
yeah,
there?
yeah, yeah. Who've done their courses from there.
Oh, nice. I think I should look into it.
Yeah.
Just for some more knowledge.
You don't need to. You're doing very well in life, yeah.
So, Vinayak, tell us about a day in a developer's life.
My everyday?
Yeah? How does it look?
Okay, so I'm up at 7:30 in the morning.
Okay.
8:30 I hit the gym. 9:45, 10 baje ko I'm back home. Shower, change, 11 a.m. at site.
Wow.
11 to 1, 12:31 is at site.
Okay.
After that, meetings start in office.
Okay.
They go until about say 7:38
Every day, yeah?
every day. Yeah,
So you go to the site every day? all your
every day
sites?
without fail.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, and we'll go, especially before a slab casting is there.
Right.
We'll spend time, make sure that okay, you know, the electrical conduits have been laid out properly.
Right.
When the construction and the interiors are on, we'll make sure that okay, you know, whatever quality has to be given, whether it's in terms of any fittings, it's in terms of any product, you know, we have to make sure that it's the correct thing that we are providing. Because quality of the product is one thing I will not compromise on.
Right.
And the only way that I can, you know, sell to my client is if I know what I'm making and constructing.
So, how do you usually take care if a project is delayed for any reason whatsoever or it's stuck? What are the main reasons that a project gets delayed or stuck?
Mainly, there are 3 reasons why a project gets delayed or stuck. Number 1 is finances.
Right.
If you are short on funds, you know, your project is going to get delayed.
Right.
For that, luckily, RERA has come into play,
Yeah.
which now allows you to
It's not
use
takes care of that.
only a buyer's money for that particular project.
Right.
Earlier, developers project A का project पैसा project B and C में डाल दिया.
Right.
Second is approvals.
Right.
If let's say your approvals have to change, you know, your project gets delayed for any reason whatsoever. I'm recently facing an issue. In the past 8-10 days, the fire norms have changed.
Really?
When it comes down to planning and constructing the building. So any building that goes above 32 meters height now requires a fire evacuation lift.
Oh.
That fire evacuation lift earlier used to be allowed to open it on the mid landing level.
Right.
with its own smoke
Yeah,
check
yeah,
lobby.
yeah, I've seen that.
Now that smoke check lobby and the fire lift has to open at the landing level with a door that's connected to either the staircase or the lift lobby of that particular floor.
Right.
So my planning in one project has changed because of that. And anyway, my project hasn't gotten stuck because of that. And the third reasons could be disputes.
Okay.
So you have to have a cool head, sort out your disputes, and then take the project ahead. These are the three reasons why any project gets stalled.
So, Vinayak, thank you for some great insights on real estate and wishing you all the best
Thank you.
for your upcoming projects and your ongoing projects.
Thank you.
And we'll be in touch.
Definitely. I look forward to seeing you in office more often.